Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the Twin Astrology weekly forecast for the Twin Flame Collective for the week ahead. We're entering into a brand new week of some very intense cosmic energies while we're still riding the coattail of that new moon in Taurus partial solar eclipse. So the energy is still intense. We're definitely not out of the woods yet. May is going to be a very pivotal month for the spiritual journey, for those on the awakening path. So let's talk about these energies that are coming in this week. Venus has been working its way through watery Piscean energies, you know, in the sign of Pisces. And today, on Monday, May the 2nd, Venus is entering into Aries and is also entering into Aries in the 9th house of Pisces at 21 degrees 27. So what can we expect while Venus kind of transits through Aries? It's a very fiery energy. It's very impulsive. I find with Venus in Aries, there's going to be a lot of exposure when it comes to immoral people in your lives. Venus in Aries can be impishly immoral. It can bring up a lot of shameless energies when it comes to blatantly pursuing objects of desire. So I do feel a lot of karmic feminine energy is really going to be exposed. I feel a lot of these feminines really have suppressed their darker aspects, keeping a lot of the divine masculines under the veil of illusion. And I feel a lot of uncivilized behavior is going to be coming up in the energies that a lot of the karmics have suppressed. And we can never, ever completely suppress our shadow self. So I feel a lot of passionate hate coming forward. And a lot of these karmics are still clinging to the divine masculine, not wanting to let go. And I do feel a lot of misfortune in the energies, especially when it comes to these temptresses. And I do feel a lot of the karmics have spent more money than the divine masculine can afford, which could likely lead to total financial ruin. I feel a lot of the karmics are losing their head. I kept hearing off with their head from the Alice in Wonderland movie. So I feel a lot of the karmics are spiraling deep into some rabbit hole energies, kind of like the divine feminine did at the beginning of the awakening journey. So whatever's been suppressed is coming up with a lot of burning passion, especially when it comes to, you know, these karmic contracts. A lot of these divine masculines rushed in to these contracts, you know, just out of the gate with the feminine. And they never really went through that healing process. They kind of courted to these karmic feminines in order to not have to look in the mirror, to not have to look at themselves. And I feel a lot of those contracts are kind of burning to the ground when it comes to that love affair. A lot of these karmics have convinced themselves that the divine masculine is the true love of their life. They've made the divine masculine their entire world. They've based their entire self-worth on this connection. And I feel a lot of these karmics, their entire world is kind of crashing down in the energies this week. They're really grasping, trying to pick up the pieces, trying to save this dead relationship when, you know, it was always doomed to kind of fail in the first place. So if there is an attempt to start over again in that karmic cycle, the masculine is just going to end up where he was the first time around. So I feel a lot of mistakes are going to be made this week when it comes to the karmic being so sure that this is the true love of their life. And I feel a lot of emotional outbursts. But this truly is to get the karmic energy to expand their own consciousness and their own spiritual experience in order to embrace this personal growth as well and to shift their perspective. So the energy really is asking us to kind of get out of our comfort zone, to get out of that south node pattern and to revisit all of these energies from a fresh new energy. So a lot of insights coming up when it comes to these negative obsessive behaviors, when it comes to mental perspectives. Some good crystals to use on Monday would be labradorite and topaz with the energies. But we have a couple of powerful shifts while Venus is in Aries. So I do feel when Venus meets up with Chiron exact on May the 15th, this is really going to force this deep pain to the surface in order for that healing to take place once and for all. So there's going to be a lot of triggering in the energies this week when it comes to these past pains, when it comes to cutting all of these karmic ties that we have spent many, many lifetimes trying to break. And it is this unearthing of all of this residual resentment. And I feel a lot of the karmics are very resentful and vengeful towards the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And this is kind of coming up to be addressed for that opportunity for healing. So conversations this week, I feel, are going to have huge potential when it comes to stepping into a more productive path forward. And later in the month, on May 24th, Venus is also going to meet up with Saturn, our strict teacher of structure and order, and it is the planet of commitment and responsibility. So the energy is kind of building up throughout the month to encourage us to take that next step and to have that more open, honest conversation, serious conversation with your counterpart in order to, you know, overcome all of these cosmic speed bumps. And then on the 27th of May, Venus in Aries is going to square off with Pluto, and that's the planet of death, taboo, transformation, and rebirth. And Pluto's in Capricorn, and I always associate Capricorn energy with that devil card. So we're breaking down all of these karmic contracts. So get ready for some exposure when it comes to manipulative agendas. And this can really create a lot of tension and power dynamic struggles. And anything that has been brushed under the rug is going to rear its ugly head by the end of May. So there's going to be a lot of triggering and reactive energies. With Venus in Aries, it's very aggressive. You might want to think before taking some action. So it's really important to be mindful of our impulses. And yes, although we are encouraged to take risks, they should always be thought out and planned out carefully and spiritually calculated. So Aries energy is known for a lot of fiery, passionate energy, jumping in before actually looking at the practicality, and it is the energy of being burned by the flames kind of energy. So although many might enjoy a good dose of courage, we do have to kind of be mindful when it comes to any direct impulses and to not let them direct you, but rather you be the director of your life. So on Tuesday this week, we do have Jupiter sextile Pluto, which is a very positive shift. It can bring forward positive change, but you may have to be forced to change something. So it can come in like a tower, and it might not feel really good at first, and you might find yourself reacting to a lot of negative, unexpected changes. But this is where we kind of embrace that organic and natural development and kind of mature through these experiences. It's kind of like a growth spurt energy, and it's like an initiation energy when it comes to embracing positive change in our lives and stepping into that communal group effort for the collective. So it's going to really trigger this strong urge to kind of reform something in your life that will likely coincide with a new opportunity to do that. And like I said, these breakdowns might not come in feeling very good, but it will open up the doorway for these new opportunities. So we're kind of all being asked to just go with the flow, to ebb and flow. Don't swim against the cosmic currents. That's not going to fare well if you want to take full advantage of these doorways that are opening up in front of you. So this can really be a time of great satisfaction and reaching a lot of achievements. And success will likely be accompanied by higher influences. So it's kind of possible for a lot of transformational energies to take place when it comes to taking back our personal power and stepping into positive influences. And I kind of feel it's like this astrological storm energy. And although Jupiter sextile Pluto is fixed in those two signs, this is going to occur in the cosmic energies, in the higher realities, for everybody in the collective, no matter what your Jupiter and Pluto aspects are in your own personal natal chart. It's all going to affect you differently based on your own Jupiter aspects. So for my own journey, my Jupiter is in Virgo, and when we look at Jupiter energy, Jupiter does represent husband and wife energy. My counterpart has his Jupiter in Leo. So very interesting, because my counterpart's north node is Virgo, which is my Jupiter, and my divine counterpart's Jupiter is in Leo, which is my north node. So the yin and the yang energies. So whatever's taking place when it comes to Tuesday's energy is going to bring forward profound spiritual redirection in our lives. And I feel a lot of the masculines are being redirected, even though this is not specific to our own personal natal charts. We're all going to be feeling this cosmic weather, this cosmic energy. And when Jupiter does form that sextile to Pluto, we're discovering all of our underlying ambitions. We're bringing forward pure motivations. It can be a very enjoyable and productive experience if you are ready, willing, and able to improve your life, to grow, and to bring yourself to that next ascension level on the journey. So it's a deep desire to find that motivation to pursue personal and professional goals and to do it with ambition, with that fiery Venus energy coming in. So it's really going to enhance our abilities, our spiritual abilities. It's really going to bring forward resolution when it comes to these long-standing issues between the counterparts and the ghosting and the separation and the lack of communication. So I feel the influencing energies really are going to bring forward some positivity when it comes to the masculine taking those steps to better his life and to solve these problems once and for all, maybe capitalizing on a resource that maybe he didn't recognize in the past. So it's about seeking that deep meaning in our lives. And that's always that tugging that you kind of feel of, hey, I know I'm here for something more. I'm not sure what, but I'm kind of sitting in that south node pattern, that comfort zone, and I'm kind of being asked to break free from that comfort zone and to really step into my true karmic pathway this life in order to balance all of these past life karmic debts. So it's like an opportunity to recognize where you can grow, to really look in the mirror. It can trigger some competition too. But I feel we're kind of all being asked to advance and to go deep into that connection of our shadow aspects, of that inner child healing, in order to restore all of these hidden talents that have been repressed, all of these true positive desires that we've kind of been saying, hey, I'm not worthy of going after that opportunity, and to begin to embrace new directions and new pursuits and to get unstuck. And then midweek on Wednesday, on May the 4th, we do have Venus sextile Lilith and Mars sextile Uranus. And when I was meditating on that energy, I kept being shown the wolf, the spirit animal, the wolf, and I kept hearing the leader of the pack. So very interesting. I feel that's the energy of the lone wolf, the masculine, the lone wolf, being ready to rise as that leader of the pack. And as leaders, the followers don't see how much legwork we have to do to make that trail for people to follow in those footsteps. So a lot of beautiful energy, I feel, with that sextile. But with Venus sextile Lilith, that's that Aries energy. Sextile Lilith in Cancer. So it can bring forward some positive opportunities when it comes to expansion and expanding soulful sexual pleasures, as well as releasing any sexual shame. So the sexual shame aspect is going to be in that sacral chakra, which is also where we house a lot of our emotional blockages. And if you think of the snake energy, there's a lot of sexual shame coming up to be cleared for the masculine for courting to the snake and absorbing all of that karmic energy. A lot of the masculines, you know, were sleeping with both the divine feminine and the karmic, and then all of that karma has been intertwined and intertangled because of the mixture of the sexuality and the pleasure that the masculine was seeking. So there's a lot of release when it comes to the shame of the cheating, the lying, and the stealing, all of that sexual shame. A lot of these masculines, you know, are sex addicts. And so there's a lot of shame that they carry in their emotional body attached to that. So it's a beautiful opportunity to release that shame, that guilt. Shame and guilt is a wasted emotion, although it does serve a purpose when it comes to doing this deep shadow work and releasing all of those energies. And some challenges that we might be facing on Wednesday is understanding our fears of intimacy. And a lot of these masculines run because they deeply fear the intimacy that the feminine ignites within them, because it is such a soulful experience, the twins together, and it unlocks all of these sexual inhibitions, and the masculines run. They run because of the deep intimacy that they feel in the feminine's presence and in that sexual energy. So with Venus, with this Venus energy, it can be very seductive and, you know, wanting to explore your deep sexual desires, but it can really affect your individual self-worth depending on where you're at on your journey. So if you feel that your self-worth is linked in only your sexual nature, then you're really not honoring your soul, and you're not honoring the humanity that you have within your heart. So, you know, yes, we do need to embrace pleasure, but it's not about selfish needs and serving our own personal needs. So there's high potency of sexual energy, and I feel there's going to be like this huge Kundalini release, a big energy being released, which will make the masculine acutely aware of all of these causes of irritation and agitation, and it will make him acutely aware of all of the manipulation surrounding him, the emotional manipulation. A lot of these karmics emotionally manipulate, they financially manipulate, and sexually manipulate the divine masculine to get their way, and they abuse their use of that sexual energy to manipulate the masculine to get what they want. And I feel the masculine wants to break free to climb that ladder, that career ladder with the feminine. So there's going to be a lot of issues of sexual shame coming up to be dealt with, and where the masculine has not been comfortable to fully express his true soulful erotic nature. So there's going to be a lot of shadow work in the energies when it comes to where you have felt used. A lot of the feminines too had to release that shame when it comes to, you know, the masculines coming in for that passion and not really offering that higher commitment and overcoming those feelings. So a lot of the feminines, you know, intimately shared their mind, their body, and the soul with the divine feminine. The divine feminine with the divine masculine. And now the masculine needs to kind of overcome these deep shadowy feelings is kind of what I feel, and understanding the importance of exchanging sexual energy with another, and getting to the root of those shameful feelings, because, you know, a lot of the divine masculines were not consciously aware of this energetic sexual exchange and the intensity and the toxicity involved in these karmic contracts. So a lot of shame coming up to be released, especially when it comes to the betrayal towards the divine feminine. A good crystal to work with on Wednesday will be opal. I have an interesting story about opal. I was at an expo a few years back, and it was on the full moon in Taurus and Scorpio season. I believe it was in 2020. Isn't that funny? Everything is always 2020 vision and hindsight. And there was another psychic there, a local psychic from the Chatham-Kent area, not quite in town here. And her and her husband go to Mexico every winter. They go there to Mexico for the winter, and he digs in the caves in Mexico, and he dug out all kinds of beautiful opal stones. And I bought myself this opal ring, and it was like hand-carved, handcrafted base and everything, and it kind of looked like the Beauty and the Beast rose. And I usually wear it every day. I didn't actually put on any rings today. Interesting. But opal would be a very good stone to work with. So with Mars sextile Uranus, that's that leader of the pack. So Uranus is always awakening, you know, shake up energy. Mars sextile Uranus is a harmonious aspect. It's a very positive use of the Mars-Uranus energy. And so Mars is still in Pisces, so still sifting through some of those illusions is kind of what I feel. I also feel the feminine with Venus and Aries, she's ready. She's ready to step into that leadership role and go full steam ahead. She's got the ambition, she's got the drive. And the masculine's still like on the tail end of sorting through this period of disillusionment is also what I see. And the feminine's always like a few steps ahead. So I kind of feel with Mars sextile Uranus, it is that lone wolf coming out of the hermit energy and getting ready to be that leader with the divine feminine. Because Mars represents our ambitions. It's the energy and the desire to take action. It rules basic instincts. Mars is a very primal energy, let's face it. Men usually think with one thing and one thing only. But it is linked to our basic instincts. It can bring forward some aggression, some anger, a lot of survival fears, base chakra fears, and it's often like this is where the masculine might, you know, take action without any contemplation because of this primal energy. It's a lot of sexual desires coming to the surface under Mars, and I know a lot of the masculines have this raw physical draw towards the feminine, and the karmic is really opposed to the masculine going towards this deep creative energy. So it's like this illumination coming forward, and it's like stepping into that birthright. So the masculine might be coming forward very assertive and very direct in communication this week, divine feminine. The energy can be very impulsive, rash, and aggressive. It's all going to depend on your own Mars in your own chart. So it's like this animalistic nature. Now I'm hearing Maroon 5, that animal song. That animal song, you might want to have a listen. I really do get a lot of energies through songs. So this is really going to highlight where the masculine expresses his anger. I think he is getting very angry at all of the delays and setbacks that the karmic is purposely putting in his place, preventing him from coming forward. So there might be an angry outburst when it comes to that energy that week, because it's almost like the karmic is going head to head with the divine masculine. But if the masculine, you know, positively uses these energies, it can be of great social benefit is kind of what I feel. So it can be very intellectually challenging, but it's where we establish new patterns of thought, release this negative behavior, and step into our individual freedom. So it's this intention of provoking new thinking, provoking those new thought patterns, and stepping into the potential of these new earth energies and really exploring all of these directions and spheres of progress that humanity is here to take. So it's like this emergence energy is what I feel, and seeking new alternatives and solutions. So I feel the masculine is very mentally restless. Very mentally restless right now, and very curious to come forward to the feminine, like very curious. So I feel this inquiry energy, this attraction towards the feminine, and this deep desire to delve deep enough to gain that real comprehensive understanding of the entire journey. So I feel you might be receiving a lot of insights this week from your counterpart, a lot of messages, telepathic messages, when it comes to these futuristic dimensions, to these new earth energies. And the Uranus factor, I feel, is really going to help this expansion of this exploration when it comes to all of these spheres of knowledge, of esoteric knowledge. The energy will settle down, but I think Mars is going to be a very aggressive, or May is going to be a very aggressive month, but the energies will settle down. So it's about applying your energy consistently and focused when it comes to achieving your goals. So it's all in harnessing this powerful energy accordingly. So you might have like a sudden revelation or a sudden burst of energy. I think a lot of the masculines are going to have that sudden burst of energy to bring that karmic contract to a complete halt in order to restore the energy flow again with the counterpart. So it's a lot of erratic influences, and communication is going to be big this week. And I feel this attraction towards the feminine to, you know, embrace this teaching role in some way, to share their knowledge in some way, and to step into the forefront when it comes to that spiritual platform, that spiritual leadership. It's like the masculine is being offered that leadership position in unorthodox ways in the energies. So I feel he's going to be standing in his truth when it comes to any arguments or oppositions this week in the karmic contracts, because he's fascinated with you, divine feminine, and he wants to have that discussion and this encounter with you. So I feel there's a lot of intellectual stimulation this week between the twins. And this aggressive Mars energy is having the masculine strategize how to come forward and to have that friendly heart-to-heart discussion that's been avoided for many years. So, and I also feel the karmic is feeling intellectually defeated in the energy. So a lot of disturbances in the force is what I want to say, disturbances in the matrix, and attacking these power struggles and breaking down these status quo foundations, especially when it comes to these sexual bondage relationships. So a lot of weaknesses can likely be highlighted in the energy, and it's like a reassembly of your priorities, tapping into all of these higher dimensions that the masculine's been ignoring because he's been playing into these physical, lustful passions instead of his emotional, intellectual energy. So the masculine will likely be rejecting any restrictions in that self-imposed relationship, taking back his dominating control to commit to making a decision when it comes to these higher commitments for the twin flame union. So on Thursday the 5th, the Sun conjunct Uranus, a lot of awakening energy. So the Sun conjunct Uranus is a time of excitement, big unexpected changes, upheavals in order for that freedom. So it's this urge to break free from these restrictive soul contracts. And the Sun is really going to highlight that. And so you think of the Sun, though, that's our vitality, and it's our conscious ego. So, you know, we're not playing into these unconscious ego desires. We're stepping into our conscious awareness. We're stepping into our authentic self-expression, and we're reestablishing our life with our creative force. So we're making our health better, our heart better, our mind better, and I feel we're accessing love at this highest level, at this highest frequency. So I feel the signing of a new contract that is going to be in alignment with your life purpose. And it's like this huge up-leveling, this huge acceptance when it comes to embracing these changes. So blue sapphire and sunstone would be some good crystals to use on the 5th. And then on Friday, May 6th, I'm having some issues with my communication. For some reason, I do believe it's because that communication shifted into Gemini. So it's almost like my brain is going like 100 miles faster than my mouth can speak, which is likely creating some issues with communication. But Friday, May the 6th, we have Mercury sextile Venus. So this is going to bring an opportunity to build those people-focused foundations. I feel it's a lot about career, enjoying the esoteric arts, and it will create challenges when it comes to exploring the depths of your shadow self and having to face conflict once and for all. So opal and quartz, another good stone to work with that day. On May the 7th, the Sun sextile Mars. So this is really going to give the masculine that boost to find his self-confidence and his physical strength to come forward, to have that conversation. And it's going to be this deep magnetic attraction between the twins is kind of what I'm feeling. An increased desire to restore a sense of compatibility within these soulful relationships. And a lot of higher elements are coming forward, I kind of feel, with that energy, especially when it comes to the twins working together. A lot of us have mission work together. It's not just about a romantic partnership. It is about our mission work and doing what we need to do to raise the collective consciousness and to raise the vibration of the planet. So I feel the masculine might feel attacked in the energies, but he's going to come forward very direct, very assertive, very strong, coming forward, wanting to impress you. I think his directness towards you, Divine Feminine, will be very non-threatening. I feel he's not afraid of those frenemies anymore. And he's very acutely aware of his own instincts, and he's feeling stronger than normal by the end of the week is what I feel, with this strong pull towards the Divine Feminine. So gonna be a very interesting week. A lot of aggressive energies is kind of what I feel coming through. But we're gonna jump in with some cards, and we're gonna see what needs to come through with the cards. I grabbed some different decks today. I grabbed the Avalon deck, or the Wisdom of Avalon. I've been really, really drawn to the Chronicles of King Arthur again recently. It's come up in a couple of videos that I've watched. A couple of Divine Feminines brought it up, and that King Arthur energy has been coming up. So I did grab the Wisdom of the Avalon Oracle deck. I also did grab the Sacred Activations deck because I feel there's a lot of activations internally taking place, especially with that North Node activation energy. And I grabbed a couple of my other regular decks along with the Shaman's Dream. So let's jump in, and we're going to start off with the spiritual journey. And we're going to see what needs to come through for the week ahead, triggering, yeah, a lot of triggering energies to put you to the test in order for the masculine to finally address these patterns once and for all, these negative behaviors. And it's like this correction. It is like this judgment day energy, and there is a need for protection. But the masculine is really being invited to take accountability. A lot of these masculines have not addressed the damage that was left behind, the whirlwind of damage that was left behind. They kind of abandoned the feminine at rock bottom, and it was a very narcissistic move, is kind of what I feel. That's like the Emperor in reverse, abandons you in your time of need with zero accountability. So in order for the masculine to release that shame, he's being invited to go deep into some shadow work, some mirror reflection work, and to take total ownership of his part in the journey is kind of what I'm feeling. So we'll dig into the energies. I'm just going to get general messages, and my guides will point me into what energy is whose today. So we'll see what needs to come out for the week ahead for the twins. See, the cards are splitting. Anyway, so we do have a masculine and a feminine side getting split with the cards. All right. And I think that's just a general message for both of the twins. All right, perfect. Bottom of the deck, void. So this is kind of where we're at. We're in that void. So it's like the cosmic womb. And we have to go into that void and create that space where perceptions can be shifted, where the universal cosmic energies can kind of work behind the scenes, and where we kind of just master that 0 point of balance of letting things be. You know, balanced in your own inner masculine and feminine energies. So on the masculine side, we do get self-care, spend time alone. So there's that hermit energy, that lone wolf energy coming through. And we do get the soul awakening. So I do feel that eclipse energy did bring in a soul awakening for the divine masculine. An expansion in consciousness, a realization about his soul's identity, his soul's mission, and everything that's happening as part of this global ascension, awakening journey as we fully ground the age of Aquarius. So a lot of detaching from the ego, a lot of ascension energies, and a release of this tight grip that the masculine had. A lot of these masculines sought to control. And the higher power has kind of taken over. And so this energy of solitude, of introspection, self-nurturance, self-care, they're showing me the Queen of Pentacles, so the masculine learning to nurture and mother himself. A lot of these karmics, I think, fed the illusion by babying the masculine and overextending themselves. And so releasing that unhealthy habit of codependencies. A lot of these karmics were codependent on the masculines, staying in that comfort zone, staying in that south node. And so as that release takes place, the release of all of this toxicity, there is a need for self-care and to spend time alone. So I also feel a lot of the karmics and masculines have deactivated and removed social media. I feel there was some exposure recently that created some humiliation, and they've both kind of retreated due to the exposure of perhaps, you know, the slander and the defamation of character towards the divine feminine. But I also feel as the masculine is awakening, he's learning how to channel these cosmic energies, and he's definitely in conversation with the spiritual realm. Coming into this awareness that, hey, he has these psychic abilities and he's been crazy his whole life kind of thing. Because the feminine, you know, appeared to be crazy at the beginning, and now it's the reversal. So openness to receive is the message. On the feminine side, Get ready for that relationship paradigm because the masculine hears you clearly and you are speaking to his heart and his soul. So I think get ready for an arrival. You might have to face some roadblocks as the masculine goes through a tower. Similarly, we will kind of reflect that in our own lives. So some challenges, I think minimal challenges, but you too really need to protect your energy as we prepare to level up. We do get psychically attacked, and the devil or the shadow energy will use people, Jezebel spirits, to attack the light workers. So do protect your energy. Be careful who you are spending time with, Divine Feminine, because you are being asked to only spend time with your true tribe, and you know who your tribe is. So only be open with like-minded souls. Rejuvenate your mind, your body, and your spirit, and do another layer of who's been depleting you and keeping you stagnant, and make that cut, because you're evolving too. I feel there's a big, powerful shift this week when it comes to both of the counterparts stepping into mastering that lesson. The conclusion of this major, powerful karmic lesson is coming full circle. So deep healing has taken place on the Divine Feminine side. I also feel the masculine's in that deep healing space right now too. And it's kind of time to rip the proverbial Band-Aid off. It's kind of time to have that conversation and to reignite our passion. So there's that Aries in Venus and Aries energy, and that Mars activation, igniting that passion, especially when it comes to this work that we're here to do together. And I feel the masculine's been doing a little research, digging a little bit deeper, expanding his esoteric knowledge and his spiritual nature. And he's really ready to consider this new spiritual vocation with the Divine Feminine to really live his life's purpose, knowing that he's here for that greater purpose this lifetime. And he is being pushed into that, being asked to embrace this and to remember the divinity that the two of us share as part of this self-development journey. And to really harness all of our psychic abilities. So let's see what needs to come through with the Illumination Oracle deck. We'll jump in with this deck. The World. So major karmic cycles. So we are closing out these cycles, and a lot of the twins are here to travel the world and be those public speakers and to teach about aligning the energies. So quite possibly world travel. I do feel a lot of divine inheritance will be being distributed, is what the guides want me to say as we close out and learn these karmic lessons. So on the feminine side, we got one card that flipped out on your end, and we get passionate romance. So like, you know how the journey goes is, it's like you're the flame, and you are the flame, you're the torchbearer, and the masculine is the fuel, and the karmic is the fuel to this fire. So the masculine's dealing with all kinds of aggressive accusations. That karmic is grasping, holding to control, quite possibly very delusional in the energies. And the masculine is missing you, wanting to bring this back into balance, and the karmic is losing it, I think. So balancing out all confusion and, you know, coming back to a place of compassion is what I feel. Back to compassion, back to the heart. And yeah, so the masculine, I think all of those secrets are being exposed. That tower's coming in to get the masculine unstuck, to get the mask to fall in order for this emotional vulnerability to take place. So I do feel a lot of the masculines are kind of hiding in the background, watching you, trying to see, like, is it safe to approach? Am I going to get accused by the feminine? But they're ready. They're ready to go after their hopes and dreams in this expansive growth. And they are definitely moving on because something recently has been illuminated, and they are planning to travel towards you. So let's see what else needs to come through with the shaman dream. Overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. So there's that unlimited abundance. And there's that coming home into the heart space, the heart activation, going home to compassion, and radical acceptance of this beloved connection. So there's been a shift recently of acceptance, a decision made. That's a 2 card when it comes to what is true in his heart who is home in his heart. And that intention was set, this new moon eclipse, to come home to the feminine, drowning in his emotions, I feel, for this new beginning. And, you know, that dream thief has been exposed, and the karmic has been exposed for the flying monkey that she is when it comes to the masculine refusing this call. So big shifts, death, rebirth, transformation. The thief is definitely getting dealt the karma, is what I feel. Karmic repercussions, karmic rebalancing. So yeah, the masculine is no longer resonating with that karmic energy. The resonating flipped out in reverse, right on top of that accusation energy. So I feel there's a strange curiosity right now. The masculine is strangely curious and drawn to you. He definitely looks at you as his muse, his joyful muse, the cat in the fiddle. Yeah, so definitely no longer resonating in that karmic contract. There's going to be a huge blowout as the masculine bursts that bubble. And definitely some obstacles he will be facing. It's like he's hitting that brick wall in order to redirect him on the journey. And so there's that final completion. The door on the past is being closed. Those changes are taking place. And the horseman is heralding a time of change. And the masculine is riding in on that horse, on that white horse. But maybe that white horse ain't going to be allowed around here no more. That Taylor Swift song I'm hearing now, White Horse. Interesting. But the masculine is getting ready to take that bold step forward because it is about collective effort. So there's a huge possibility for union energy this week to cross that threshold as the masculine goes into that fallen angel energy, the fall of the ego, and releasing this spiritual narcolepsy when it comes to this journey. And what do we get on the feminine side? We get one card on the feminine sky, and we're tapping into all of these unlimited possibilities. The world is your oyster, divine feminine. You have the potential to create anything. You've bridged heaven and earth, and it's kind of time to receive those blessings. So let's keep going. The novice. So the masculine's finally ready to be the novice. The feminine is so highly more advanced with all of her skills. So there's an innocent beginner's level coming forward as the masculine releases his ignorance and embraces these new skills and practice. There's this unstable curiosity as the masculine knows it's time to come out of the woods and release that burden once and for all, is what I feel. Oh, those cards really wanted to fall. So there is going to be movement. There is going to be an offer with the Grail Knight. As the masculine breaks free from that romantic illusion, he wants to seek the sacred with you, divine feminine. He sees you as fiery, passionate, and he wants to embrace this creative action with you. So there's definitely a risk going to be made, but the masculine is deeply in this wounded human ego energy. Going through a period of self-nourishment, asking and receiving, and releasing any anger. I feel a lot of the karmics are angry, jealous, and want to retaliate. And it's kind of like, you know, when you get stung by that scorpionic tail, it hurts. When you get stung by that snake, the serpent. But I feel a lot of knowledge when it comes to the healing. When it comes to the healing that the masculine needs to bring forward. So, and I just saw the cat. So you might want to connect with your familiars is another message. So we get the Grail Knight and movement. So there is going to be movement. There is going to be a message of some sort for this sacred journey. We're at a very pivotal marker point for this ascension path. And divine feminine, you are so divinely protected as you completely transform into that butterfly. We're no longer in the chrysalis, gooey stage. We're ready to fly and to balance out these mysteries. So Libra energy. There's no mystery as to which direction the twins need to go on when it comes to this sacred journey. And I do feel coming in with that offer. Definitely with the horse energy. And maybe the masculine needs to ask for help. But I feel I'm stepping into that authority, and there are some restrictions to overcome when it comes to these perception shifts, stepping into joy and truth and regaining that focus when it comes to loyal, committed partnerships and coming forward with that sincere, unconditional, loving offer, Divine Feminine. So we're going to get a couple sacred activations. I knew this was going to be a long one. These are some very powerful energies. So we're going to get a realization. So there's that energy of a realization and a deep internal process of the masculine becoming aware of his heart-centered truth. And there's an external process that the masculine is going through when it comes to this clearing and stepping into his highest expression. So a realization, and so there is going to be like this divine conception energy. There's that sacral chakra, tantric journey with the Divine Feminine. So definitely get ready for that tantric journey. The frequency the Divine Feminine is carrying right now is really supporting the receptive, nurturing energy for the Divine Masculine to tap into that soft side. And, you know, as the masculine embraces his masculinity in that benevolency, it allows the feminine to fully express and open up. So a deep understanding of this intricate connection that we share in the creation we're here to bring forward. So get ready maybe for an intense tantric sexual journey with your counterpart this week to unlock another layer of this hidden esoteric knowledge that the twins share. A lot of intricate wisdom, reaching these states of wholeness, I feel, and this completion energy as the masculine realizes this internal truth. So it is that conception of the cosmic flower, the sisterhood of the rose, activating the purity of the sacral chakra and stepping into universal oneness, universal love. So beautiful energy, a lot of remembrance when it comes to the place we call home, which is the place that's our heart and the core from which we came from and what we're here to do this life. So universal love, this deep feeling being returned to the twins, which will also return that feeling of oneness to Mother Earth and the planet and the whole of all of existence when it comes to these past life karmic timelines that we came here to clear. So life supporting ability when it comes to conception, and I spoke about that in the last video. A lot of the twins, not all of them, are here to conceive that third energy, whether it is a child or a business idea or something, and it's the birthing of that third energy when it comes to the consciousness of our origin, where we came from, and our Akashic DNA activations at the soul cellular level. So I do feel this is where new creation begins when it comes to these 5D Earth timelines. Infinite potential, infinite possibilities in this void space, and a lot of manifestations coming forward for the feminine. And this is where we really harness our personal power and have that soul time together. So beautiful energies coming through. Let's jump in with some tarot. We'll get some tarot messages and see what needs to come through with the tarot. Lots flying out on the masculine side. All I see flipped over right now are major arcana, so a lot of universally driven change is taking place this week. We just got the Emperor upright on the Divine Masculine side. Beautiful energies. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Cups. There's that offer. There's that apology. There's that romantic offer because the masculine is harnessing his own psychic awareness. So yeah, he's definitely shifting his perception when it comes to that karmic feminine energy. He sees clearly now that this was an illusion. I think the illusion has been shattered. She's been exposed fully is what I feel. There's been some illumination and likely a full karmic release by that full moon in Scorpio. Your masculine could be dealing with Aries, Leo, Sag, or Pisces. But she definitely did a good job at keeping the masculine under this veil of illusion, and I feel something's been exposed. I also feel she's aggressively attacking the masculine and reaching rock bottom, a place of humiliation. And that is all coming to a dead stop. A series of unfortunate events, total financial ruin, the wheel reversed. She's been intentionally keeping the masculine stuck, and he bloody well knows it. And he's taken back his power. He's doing the right thing once and for all. He is going to be taking the action with the Aries energy. And Mars will go into Aries closer to the end of May. So there's going to be a huge karmic release over the coming weeks for the masculine to rise as that leader. And on the feminine side, healing. The masculine wants to heal that poor judgment call. You're just being asked to embrace this integration, this alchemy, this inner alchemy from within, and to release any bitterness when it comes to the masculine making that poor judgment call. So you need to balance something within before the masculine can come in and face that judgment. There is going to be a facing of judgment. The masculine is definitely going through all kinds of power struggles, accusations with the karmic contract, that whole social structure, in order for this burden to be released once and for all. He's definitely at rock bottom too, and ain't that the truth? But you know, rock bottom is where you find that truth, and wishes are being granted, and the masculine is coming in to have that conversation about the ghosting and the blocking and all of the childhood wounds that this connection triggered for that clearing. So get ready, because the masculine is moving on from his old ways. He's moving on from his player ways of in and out, back and forth, coming in, ghosting, back and forth, because we are entering into these new cycles where we will put in the work. And it is about our work and our mission as well. So an awakening, a new beginning, a new cycle, and we're releasing these contracts, these third-party contracts, and going after that Holy Grail union. So a new offer that will lead to a lot of stability is what I'm feeling in the energies this week. So let's get a couple last twin flame oracle messages, and we will grab a couple of twin flame messages from the divine masculine. All of the energies are coming through on the masculine side. So big masculine energy shift. It is about family, and we are clearing all of this ancestral karma once and for all. When it comes to our family lineage, a lot of that is in focus when it comes to this deep inner child healing. So get ready for any unresolved childhood wounds and issues to surface this week that are needing to be addressed, especially when it comes to any gender roles, any reflective negative human patterning when it comes to the masculine and feminine energies. And I feel the masculine is reaching a state of balance, divine feminine, as you find your inner peace. So he's definitely going through that separation with the karmic contract. And he knows that you have always been connected, and he's praying for a miracle. Divine feminine, he's praying for a miracle. So I kind of feel as you balance your inner masculine and feminine energies and stay in the present moment on your own journey and in that positive high vibration, it's just attracting the masculine to find that inner wholeness and to take action, because he's going through a major chakra clearing when it comes to the Kundalini balancing and this energy flow. And you have always held the key. You have held the key to the masculine's heart from the very beginning, from the first time you ever looked into his eyes, this physical life. So once the blueprint is activated, the journey towards this union is already underway. So I do feel, get ready for a message, because the masculine is working through all kinds of fear. The karmic, you know, chirps in his ear and degrades him, belittles him. And she stirs up all of this tension in the connection, fear. And he's working through that fear. So if you find yourself, you know, getting triggered for no reason, you know that that's just the masculine's energy mirroring to you, that you are reacting to his energies right now, because it is very intense. So know that we are those warriors of light, and our twin flame mission is unconditional love. So don't ever play into that karmic energy. It really will not serve you. So we'll get a couple last messages, twin flame messages from the masculine to the feminine. Is it possible to forgive and forget because you feel like home to me? So that's a big one. Is it possible to forgive and forget? I don't think we can ever really forget. But I do believe forgiveness is possible, but it does take open-hearted communication, a lot of communication, and forgiveness. So I think the masculines definitely are haunted in the mind space when it comes to your lingering words. I know I called out some very harsh truths to my masculine. It's been a couple of years ago. I laid into him all of the truth, and I'm sure that has weighed heavy in his mind space throughout the years. So... and they know they should have been more honest with you, how they were feeling. They never really have fully opened up. And so they want to know, is it safe to approach? Are you going to Queens of Swords me when I get there? But you do. You feel like home to them. And we know the energy that we feel. It is like home. And so is it possible to forgive and forget? Because we need to remember we were breaking up with a wound, and this person reflected that wound. We're not really, you know, the one that pulled the trigger was not the actual wound. So I do think it is possible to forgive and forget, but it does take a lot of communication. So I do feel you are definitely inspiring the masculine to figure things out and to take action is kind of what I got for the week ahead, Divine Feminine. I hope this helped. I really hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a twin flame reading with me, I do encourage you to check out that description box below, guys, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.